La semana pasada comenzó, después de 10 años de espera, la serie de Halo, este juego insignia de Microsoft Xbox, que, para sorpresa de todos, dividió un toque las aguas, pero tal vez los detalles que pensamos que iban a molestar más a los fans no molestaron tanto.
Le fue bien en números.
Hay mucha gente muy contenta con el tratamiento. Es un poco una sorpresa, pero tal vez ellos lo tenían pensado esto. Y es por eso que, para seguir elaborando sobre este nuevo contenido de videojuegos en formato de serie, tenemos una entrevista exclusiva, algo que van a ver por primera vez y por única vez acá en Malditos Nerds, con Kiki Wolfkill, la productora ejecutiva de la serie y tal vez el mejor nombre que he visto en mi vida, y Pablo Schreiber, el mismísimo Master Chief. Ellos estuvieron grabando algunas palabras para nosotros y recuerden, lo van a ver solo acá en Malditos Nerds en IP.
Yeah, what we really set out to do was express this giant 26th century sci-fi world. Humanity is at stake. There's a covenant invasion, an alien invasion, and really present this vast backdrop. But against that, tell a very human story.
I think fans can expect from this series of Halo, this adaptation of Halo, an incredible amount of action, adventure.
I think what the audience can expect is being introduced to an incredible world, but at the same time really being able to dig into a very relatable human story, character story that centers around.
The visuals are incredibly rich and delicious. I'm seeing the VFX come in, and every single day there's new additions to the VFX that make the thing come alive. It's really powerful visually.
A super soldier in the Master Chief, and a cast of characters that I think really gives insight into what it means for humanity to be at stake, and really what is humanity's role, and what are you willing to sacrifice of humanity in order to save it?
Oh, it's been a process, man. When it was announced in, I believe, 2019 that I was going to play the character, there was obviously a massive boost for me on my Twitter feed, and so I pretty quickly became aware of how big of a phenomenon Halo is, and how beloved it is by so many people, and the character as well. He's an icon. He's a symbol for all of us, for bravery, for courage under incredibly difficult circumstances. He's been a part of the social fabric for the last 20 years, him and Cortana, so it's such a huge honor for me to get to be, not just to play this character, but to get to be a part of this community.
World building at this scale is an incredible challenge, and it was an incredible feat. We had a very talented crew, and we shot across a variety of locations. But really what it was a group of really passionate creatives and an amazing cast, and we came together every day with the goal of creating as good a show as we could do, but also really work to bring this Halo world to life in a believable way, so people who already know Halo can enjoy it, but more importantly, so new audience can come in. I will say that it was a rocket ride through production. It was an incredible challenge to build the level of detail and sort of the richness of environments that really make you feel like you're living in the world. And it was a gift to be able to work with the talent of the crew and to come together to bring this world to life.
The physical prep was exhausting, intensive, a lot of training, a lot of eating, a lot of learning how to manipulate the suit, which was its own very, very difficult challenge. Mentally, the preparation was spending a lot of time around friends of mine already who are soldiers, who have been in battle, who have been affected by battle. because one of the major themes of our show is the effect of war on society and on the individual. And then obviously, you know, just a deep dive into the Halo mythology and the story and figuring out which aspects of the story were going to be keepers for us and places that we should use.
Yeah, I've spent most of my career in the game industry, developing video games. Incredible experience bringing that world to life in television. The process, you know, there's a lot of similarities with the processes and a lot of differences. I think, you know, the similarities are with both because you're creating an experience and you're creating a world and you're creating a place for people to escape to. You start with a very crisp vision of where you want to get to and the journey you want to take the audience on. And I think in that way it's similar. And then you figure out the things you need to build to deliver on that vision. And a lot can change along the way. And as long as that vision is super crisp, you know, you're able to make those adjustments. I think the biggest difference between the two is in production. In games, it's software, and we iterate, and we try things, and we go back, and if we decide, you know, a mechanic needs to be tweaked, we go back and do that. When you're filming, you have one chance at it. And so you make your decisions and you make your plans and then you go and you don't really get to go back. And so it's a much more decisive environment, and being in a physical space as opposed to working at desks also feels very different. When you get to the end, you know, post-production is all about the editing and the VFX. On the game side, you're fixing bugs. But both are all about balancing, you know, schedule and production and quality and making the creative decisions all along the way to make sure you're delivering it as high a quality as you can.
It's amazing to be associated with a streamer that is at the beginning of its growth, right? It comes in obviously with a massive amount of history with the Paramount brand and a lot of success with obviously CBS and all of its networks underneath. And we're at a place where Paramount Plus is about to expand into 48 markets around the world. And that couldn't be timed better, you know, to have a show like this that is so massive in scope and so big in scale to be able to help the streamer start, you know.
Si querés ver más noticias y contenidos como este, no olvides vernos todos los días de lunes a viernes a las 23:30 horas por la pantalla de IP, haciendo Malditos Nerds con todo sobre el mundo del cine, de las series, de la tecnología y del gaming.